This is episode X, Xperience Local, with the Learned Local platform. This is A is for Adversity, a podcast about navigating the obstacles in life. Thanks for joining us this season as we talk about how a community can help. I'm Jen.
And I'm Rachel. We're here to be a part of your community this year as we learn together.
Okay, I am here with Learned Local. I am so excited. I've been looking forward to this interview for a while. And so I'll just have you introduce yourselves and then we'll start right into it.
Right on. Yeah. Well, Jen, thanks so much for the opportunity. It's been fun getting to know you better and kind of coming together as a community. My name's Jarrett, and I have had this idea of bringing the community together for quite a few years now.
Tell us a little bit about the Learned Local platform. How does it work?
Yeah, so we believe that there are many people within your community that have a talent to share or a hobby. And so we wanted to make it as easy as we could possibly make it for that person to get paid for doing what they love. So Learned Local, when you go to our website, learnedlocal.app, you can either sign up for an experience in your own community. These experiences can range from sourdough classes to bladesmithing classes to learn how to rock climb outdoors. Or you can also create your own experience. And so when you do that, you fill out the form, you put in the price of what you'd like to charge, how many people, and then Learn Local handles the payment, the scheduling. You don't have to pay for a website, as well as the marketing so that you can focus on doing what you love.
Great. Thank you.
Last year, I met my co-founder, Brendan.
Yep, and I'm also here and excited to be with you guys and to talk a little bit about Learn Local as well. My background is I'm a dev on the team, so I've helped kind of build it from the ground up, and we've added a couple more people to the team now and are working from there.
Great. So you had it as an idea and then kind of went with it through school. That was kind of an opportunity to sort of launch it, would you say?
Yeah, so I'm in the entrepreneurship program at BYU right now. And a few years back, one of the first classes that I had taken, my teacher had challenged us to come up with a problem and then provide a solution to that problem. And of course, we had just barely come out of COVID, and I was really bothered at how used to staying inside I was getting. I noticed that I wasn't going out to make meaningful connections, and I could tell that it was kind of starting to weigh on me a bit. And so I thought, well, that's a huge problem. What if we could create a platform that allowed communities to connect together? And so I thought further on, well, what gets people out of the house? And it's to create unique experiences. And so I had been a tour guide in Alaska for a couple summers. I'd seen people travel from all over the world in hopes to create these memorable experiences. And I thought it would be awesome if there was a platform that we could take the already talented people in our community and kind of give them a voice, allow them to get paid to share what they love.
It really, Jen, if you know anything about Aaron, he's really good at creating like relationships and like connecting with people. And that's how we got connected actually just about a year ago from today, right? Mm-hmm. And that's where we kind of did our first hackathon to get into the BYU Sandbox program and start building out the product. But he kind of ignited the vision in my mind. And ever since then, we've been working together on this. So.
That's great. Yeah, you answered my question. I was going to ask how you met, if it was in class or before BYU or what that was. So that's interesting.
Slack or something.
Yeah. I just put out a message and I said, hey, I've got this idea. I'm looking for some developers. And Brendan was actually the only person to reply. But it was the first meeting that I met him. I knew for sure that he was going to be the guy that I wanted to be with to grow Learn Local.
Yeah.
That's so great. I love the connections because we all have talents. We all have unique interests, and the marriage of those is just beautiful once we get those together.
Yes.
Yeah. So you kind of touched on this a little bit, but in your mind, why are community and connections so important to a society?
I mean, I think most people, I mean, especially here in Utah, I think we have a lot of that, right? Where we do live in such a well-connected community with neighbors or friends and family. We've got large families here, got just so much stuff is happening. And for us, I think, and maybe this is more me, because Aaron kind of shared his side of his background with connections and stuff. But as a college student, you're always seeking out connections. I got married this past year, but and I still look for new connections now. But before that, I was in the heat of Provo, just in the middle there, and looking for new things to do always, new people to meet, because there's just an energy that comes and kind of surrounds that, you know, when you get to meet someone new and learn something from them. And it often opens up your eyes to new perspectives that you weren't aware of previously, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And that's great. Yeah. It depends on your situation in life, your life stage, but it can be found in many life stages, like you said, as a college student, or for me, I know a lot of moms that are seeking connection and community, or people maybe that their kids have left and they're seeking connection. So it's true. It's our life situation that propels us to kind of seek out that connection and community. So what adversity have you guys encountered as you've learned local, and has it helped you grow?
It's a great question. There is tons of adversity. And actually one of those big ones is the connection. People, ever since COVID, have got so used to just staying in their homes. And our goal is to break that. We think that as a community, we are so much stronger when we're together. And, you know, I believe that everybody has something to give to the world. And so we really just wanted to kind of make it easy for them to do that.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to add on to that. It's really easy to have this vision, right, of what you want, but there's a lot of adversity that comes with implementing it. In our case, this is a marketplace, right, where we're trying to, there's two sides of this. There's the hosts, and then there's those who are participating in the experiences. And trying to grow both sides of that creates a lot of adversity. And you could apply it to, I mean, anyone who's hosting on Learn Local. The hope is that there's someone who is a newly budding business or a side hustle, and anyone who's done that knows how hard it is to get it off the ground. And that's part of the vision with Learn Local, is to help, like, we'll take the brunt of that adversity, right, so that you can not have to worry about that and just focus on what you love and what you like to do, right? So there's been definitely a lot of business challenges there. Development wise, we face challenges every day. As we're, like we've said, we're college students. We're still learning a lot of this stuff as we go. So to answer the second question, yes, learning and growing has been a huge part of this process for us.
Yeah. One of the books on my to read list it's called A Year of Yes. And I feel like that's kind of something that's holding people back. Like you said, that connection piece, people are just more comfortable with staying home. Maybe they're hesitant, or they want to think of excuses why they shouldn't participate. But, you know, just trying it, just getting out and experiencing it. And the more you do it, the more I feel like you catch that bug of, yeah, this is great. This is community. This is connection. This is real life. And so, yeah, that's an adversity I've seen too, with, like you said, the connection piece. Yeah, that's so good. I am right there, you know, building a business and in that adversity. So yeah, it's been neat to see though. I think people are really attracted to this idea. I've watched Learn Local already grow so much. And tell us a little bit, if you don't mind, about like the recognitions that you've had. So you mentioned to me a little competition last week, and then I think you've been interviewed by KSL, right?
Yeah. So I'll start with the competition last Friday. That was at BYU through the Rollins Center in Entrepreneurship. They had, I think, over 100 plus applicants. 130 applicants of like ideas for businesses / small startups, current businesses. And so we had pitched our idea. We got into the top 20. And so we got, I mean, just a
Was
few
it like
hundred,
$200 or something? Yeah.
Wow.
$200 to make it in the top 20. Um, but to make it in the top 20 was awesome. And then we had pitched in front of some investors and other people that are a little bit higher up at BYU. And that was a cool opportunity. It didn't go as well as we were hoping,
Yeah.
but just to even make it in that top 20.
There was a lot of cool stuff there
Yeah.
that presented. I mean, we've had the chance to get accepted for a few different grants through BYU. Really cool that they do that for us. Like we just got
Yeah.
accepted into a new one that will help give us some funding over the next couple of months to grow. But yeah, there was the KSL article. Was that 2 Saturdays ago? That's been awesome for us. And we were quite frankly surprised that they were willing to do a little piece on us, and
Yeah.
definitely brought a lot more people to our site. I think that day we got 300 more people that came to the site to check out stuff. So that was pretty fun and exciting for us.
That's good. That's awesome. Yeah, it is a challenge to get the word out and get off the ground. So that's neat that people are recognizing that there's something here. So what's a favorite inspirational quote or two of yours?
I don't know like who it's from. It's something that my dad always shared with me, and something that I try to guide my life by is be a part of the solution, not the problem. It's a kind of mentality that I really like about proactively taking action rather than just like reacting to things, if that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
I think that's why being an entrepreneur or starting business appeals to me so much, is there's all these problems that are out there. And you can be a part of a lot of solutions. You just have to choose to be a part of that, and it takes a little bit of effort. So
Yeah, that's great. I love that that stuck with you because my husband will say to my 5-year-old son, be a problem solver, not a problem spotter. And
yes.
so, yeah, I love that because there is so much we could complain about. There's so much we could talk about with problems, but being part of the solution is constructive. So that's
I
great.
feel like it's a really good thing for the world right now, especially at the point that we're at with so much chaos and stuff. So
Yeah,
yeah.
it's great. And what about you, Erin?
Yeah, for me, I've always loved the quote that they don't care how much you know until they know how much you care.
Yeah.
And I think that in this world that we're living in, I could spend 10 seconds on Instagram and I would see how I can make $1 million this month doing passive income and all this. And it's a scam, but we're living in a world that is just so quick and so focused on money. And I have always tried to be the kind of entrepreneur that is focused on the people. And that I really am truly passionate about connecting communities together and, kind of building a family just in our neighborhood. And that brings me the most joy. I don't look at dollar signs. I look at how many people can I connect together. And I think that when entrepreneurs focus on that, then, like the money comes later.
Yeah.
But if you focus on what you're passionate about, then everything else is going to fall into place.
That's so good. Yeah. And then the fire and the motivation stays there and it's genuine. So I love that. That was a great reminder. So how can people support Learn Local? What are you guys looking for or wanting or needing?
I think you brought up a good point earlier when we were talking about adversity. We want to know the adversity that small business owners or side hustlers or moms or whoever it is, we want to know what adversity you face. Because we really are trying to build a product with customers in our mind, right? Not just customers, but anyone who is trying to start a business, right? So that we can build the best version of the product for them, because that's who it's for. So that's one thing on my mind.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, you're gonna have to ask the question again. I got
Yeah.
ADHD.
You're good. How can people support you?
Yeah. I think the big thing is just go to our website, learnvocal.app, and go support these small businesses and side hustlers in your community. Give them, help give them a voice. Support them. And then also if you're in that boat where you're looking for a side hustle or you think you have something to share, you don't have to charge for an experience. Jen, your experience was the first free one that we had on Learn Local. And we absolutely loved it. So if, like I said, I think that you have a talent, everybody has a talent, and you deserve it for our community to share your talent.
Yeah, I was going to say a lot of people, I think, don't realize how much they do have to share. And with Learn Local, it doesn't have to be like this master class that you are the expert on the subject. It can just be an experience where you're all learning together, or if you're really good at bringing people together for whatever creative endeavor, whether it be cooking, art, a game night, murder mystery dinner. Like there's a plethora of unique experiences that we could have in our community. And so we're just looking for people who are willing to put themselves out there and create something unique for people. And obviously there's some great compensation that comes with that.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you so much for creating the platform and having it available, because I know the challenge is finding things, being discoverable, being accessible, and finding them in Learn Local is just an easy place, a one-stop, for you to look and see what's available. So that's great. Thank you for your help and your contributions. What's your vision for Learn Local in the future?
Yeah, so we actually just discussed that a few minutes ago. And it can be, we can get caught in the mindset of have as many experiences everywhere, but we really just need to start somewhere. And so, of course, we're BYU students, so we've kind of created a plan to be able to just focus on some unique experiences that people can get started on, and just kind of grow from city to city. Hopefully, many years down the road and after lots of work, we can share the community of Learn Local throughout the nation, throughout the world. But we also recognize that we're going to have to hustle even just to get our small city here. So,
yeah, I was about to say, with a lot of competitors in the same space, a lot of them focus heavily on these big, heavily populated areas, which makes sense, right? Because there's a lot of people there. So like New York, San Francisco, big towns. Here in Utah, we don't have a whole lot of those. And there's communities all over the country and the states that are these smaller communities. And our approach and our vision is to help create these unique experiences in those types of communities, really anywhere. But I think that's what makes us stand out a little bit, is our focus on the little guys, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, and then just growing this as big as we can get it, and letting it take us where it goes.
That's great. That's inspiring. And, you probably hear people that say it too, like, oh yeah, I'm going to help out the little guy, but to find people that actually are helping the little guy, because we're all there or we've been there and need that help and support. So that's great. Is there anything else you'd like to share or you feel like we didn't talk about?
Thank you for letting us come on this, and we've been so happy to have the chance to meet you, and we're so excited when you told us that you were just looking on the site and you're like, there's not an experience on here, I'm just going to go create something. And that inspired us to find someone that was as passionate as us about growing this platform. So we really appreciate you and everyone else who has enabled us to be at where we're at today. Even though it's still the beginning, we do see potential with it.
Yeah, so great. Yes, I will continue to share it with everybody and we'll get some more experiences on there. And I noticed that there's a ton right now. So that's great. I encourage people to go look it up.
Yep.
Yes.
We've got a cool knife smithing class tomorrow.
Yes.
They're really, really unique experience down in Saratoga Springs? Springville, that's right. So yeah, lots of cool stuff on there.
Yes. Okay, well, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Check out the website learnedlocal.app today and use the code community15 for a discount on experiences.